وسع ربي كل شيء علما أفلا تتذكرون.
ولذلك, if you look at the early generation, they were very pious people, Shahid, very righteous and pious. And their piety and their righteousness led them to understand that if a scholar, he was good at one particular science, لا يتعاطى الكلام في غيره, you wouldn't see that same scholar talk about other issues that he doesn't know. والعامة, and even the people, لا يسألون في كل علم إلا من عرفت له الإمامة فيه. The people, the general mass, لا يسألون, they wouldn't ask that individual في كل علم, in every matter of the religion, إلا من عرفت له الإمامة فيه. They will only ask the person they believed was an imam in all of those fields. For example, in Baghdad, at the time of Al-Ma'mun and after, okay, anybody who wanted to know a matter related to hadith or fiqh, who would they go to? They would go to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahullah, and his peers, Ishaq ibn Rahuya, and the likes of these imams. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّ أَنْ يَسْأَلَ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِّنَ الرَّأْيِ وَالْقِيَاسِ. And anyone who wanted to ask about analogy and opinions and things like that, they would go to who? The students of who? Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّ أَنْ يَسْأَلَ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْعَرَبِيَّةِ. And anyone who wanted to ask about a matter related to Arabic language, سأل أصحاب الكسائي. They'll go to the students of, or even Al-Imam al-Kisai himself, and they would ask him. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّ أَنْ يَسْأَلَ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْوَرَعِ وَأَمْرَاضِ الْقُلُوبِ. And anybody who wanted to go and ask about a matter related to, heart softening and sins and all of that, they would go to who? Bishr al-Hafi. And anyone who wanted to ask and wanted to know about a matter related to Al-Maghazi, for example, the Prophet's seerah and his biography and the likes of this, they would go to the students of Al-Imam Al-Waqidi, for example. وَقِسْ عَلَى ذَلِكَ, and the list goes on. And that was common. ولذلك, it was mentioned, وَقَدْ كَانَ جَمَاعَةٌ مِنْ أَئِمَّةِ الْحَدِيثِ الْمَضْرُوبِ بِهِمْ الْمَثَلِ. It's narrated, authentically, transmitted, mass transmission, large quantity of scholars, that if a scholar was asked about a mas'ala fiqhiyya and he didn't know it, and it wasn't his field of expertise, what would he say? He would say, سَلِ الْفُقَهَا. Go and ask the fuqaha and the people of fiqh. That's what he would say. If he was asked about a tafsir of an ayah, he would say, don't ask me, go ask fulan, who speaks about these verses. They wouldn't answer it. And it wasn't a bad thing to them. They didn't see it as, I had to speak about everything. And it wasn't an insult. That's not my field. I only speak about what I know and what I'm good at. وَلِلْأَسَفِ الشَّدِيدِ, now, what do we find? Sad reality is that jack of all trades, master of none. The person talks about everything. He puts his hand into everything, and he talks about every matter of the religion, and he knows he doesn't know it. Not only that, even the people know that he doesn't know it. This is what happened في العصور الوسطى. تغير الحال. The situation changed. فكم من عارف بفن خاص تعاطى الكلام في غيره واغترت العامة بشهرته فقلدوه في جميع العلوم. So what happened? The people got deceived because of his fame. So they blind followed him in that when he isn't. And this kalam in its entirety is taken from Abdurrahman Yahya al-Muallimi rahimahullah. The second volume, he mentions that, page 222 to page 223.
Second volume of?
It's Athar. Muallimi's Athar, second volume, page 222 to page 223. And Shahid, wallah, if you really take this concept and you look at it in a lot of the conflicts and the disputes and the differences and disagreements that come amongst Muslims, whether it be social media, whether it be in real life, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on Instagram, whether it be, if you just look at the people, you realize, ya akhi, you are good at something. There is a place you're very good at. You, mashallah, you can hold that down. You can bring glory to the Muslims from that particular field. Why don't you work towards that and focus on that one thing and not put your hand into something else? And another one, he's good at one thing. He's mashallah, he's got the ability to do this, but he's got his leg into something else. And so it becomes messy. And the people, the Amma, their level is low. The people watching, who are clapping and going watching this and that and back and forth and watching that, they are just following who's the most famous. And according to them, if you're more famous, you're more knowledgeable and you're more on the right. And the one who's not popular is what? He doesn't know what he's talking about. And this kalam that Abdurrahman al-Muallimi mentioned, wallahi, it goes according to what we're talking about today. And I'm mentioning this mainly because of what we're going to be talking about today, which is that the A'immatu Sirah, the scholars of the Sirah, we go back to them when it's issues related to Sirah. We're not going to go to the Fuqaha. When it's issues of fiqh, we go to the scholars of fiqh. When it's tafsir, we go to the scholars of tafsir. When it's Arabiya, when Lugha al-Arabiya, we go to it. I'm not going to go to Imam Ahmad on it. Not that he doesn't know. But Sibawayh said something. Sibawayh would take a precedence for me. It's vital. Your research is like this. I remember, subhanallah, one of my shuyukh, I called him, at the time I was looking into the issue of qira'at and the preservation of the Qur'an, and I'd done a series on it. And I was asking him, he's mashallah, he's very grounded in Qur'an and his ulum. So I kept bringing nuqulat from the usuliyin. As you know, in usul al-fiqh, they talk about issues of the Qur'an. Because remember, one of the mabahith in usul al-fiqh is where is the evidence taken from. So it's the Qur'an and the Sunnah. So when you go to the Qur'an, they talk about issues that you find about the transmission of the Qur'an. They talk about that. And even the hadith, they talk about the issue of mursal in mustalah al-hadith, and they also talk about in usul al-fiqh. So mabahith in usul al-fiqh deals with qira'at and the qira'ah al-shadha. Because remember, the qira'ah al-shadha, can we take fiqh rulings from it? So in usul al-fiqh and fiqh books, they talk about this. So I got some quotes from some usuliyin. Zarkashi said this, and Suyuti mentioned this in his Kawkab al-Sati', and Sayfuddin al-Amidi said this, and وهكذا. I got all the nuqulat, and Ibn Hazm said this and that, and I was comparing these usuliyin and fuqaha, what they said, in contrast to Qurra like Ibn al-Jazari and al-Shatibi and the likes of these great imams of qira'at, what they said, and I was putting it in line with what the usuliyin were saying. And wallahi, I benefited from my shaykh. He said, look, Abdurrahman, you're confusing something. Something's not right, you're doing it wrong. Why? These are a'immatul fan. It's a matter related to what? This is an issue related to qira'at. And if you're going to look at it, you have to go to the kalam of the Qurra. Khasatan Ibn al-Jazari is muhaqqiqeen. He's not just an imam in qira'at. He's a muhaqqiq. When he says something, you have to stop and say, Ibn al-Jazari said this. It's not, don't take it light. Rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah. ولذلك Ibn al-Jazari's tarjihat has a hujjah, a high level in the field. You cannot put him on the in line with Sayfuddin al-Amidi and Zarkashi and etc. The same applies when it comes to issues of usuliyin mention an issue of the mursal, is it hujjah or not? As you know, the usuliyin are very lenient in this issue. The scholars of hadith is where we go to. We go back to the scholars, because this is an issue related to what? Whether a hadith is accepted or rejected. Usuliyin, that's not their job. The usuliyin, that's not their job to talk about whether the narration is rejected or accepted. What's their job? Once the evidence is established, how do we extract the ruling from it? That's their job. So the evidence has to be given to them ready-made. From who? From two groups of people. The Qur'an are going to talk about what's a Qur'an, so they take it from them. And the muhaddithin tell them, this hadith is sahih, inshallah, take it from us. Once it's given to them, they tell the principles and the qawa'id and how to extract it. And this shahid shows us, as a Muslim, you need to understand that you're not going to be a master of everything. Abu Ubaid Qasim said a very powerful statement. He said, I have not debated a person who puts his legs into so many different sciences except that I beat him. But I've never had a discussion with a person who masters one field except he beats me. So it's not common, hatta in Islamic history, if you look at it, someone who's an all-rounder. Is rare, it's not very common. The ummah in Islam, we're not like that. And the wara' that those great imams had is what I ask Allah to give us. The wara' of saying, I don't know. La adri. I have no knowledge. And wallahi, I read a quote. I don't want to mention who said it. But it's the truth. It's the truth. It was a very good quote. He says that the people are two types. Specialists And those who are wa'adh, reminders, they give reminders. The specialists, because they're busy with their field and they're busy with writing and authorship, and they're ulama, so they're busy with their authorship and writing, they've let those ones go and do the. And the specialists are happy for them, they're happy for those people to do their lectures and their reminders and heart softening, and they praise them. And they say, you guys are holding down an important position for the community. You're bringing them back to, you're not just giving reminders, but you're also you're du'at. So good, keep up the hard work. They, on the other hand, don't look at the specialists with respect, because they've now become popular and famous. They've gained publicity and they've got an audience now. People are like, love these ones. They don't realize that these specialists are the ulama, and they're the people of knowledge. And so they spend their time condemning them. Say, I forget them. What are they doing? Sitting in a corner, doing this and writing this and that. And that's a reality if you look at it. With social media and everything, it's easy for a person to pick up momentum. It's easy for a person to pick up publicity and fame. And so he disregards all the people who are ulama, jahabida, who are specialists. He is nothing compared to them. They're not popular like him. They're not known. No one knows them. Recently, a great scholar died, and he was one of the scholars of hadith. He has ijaza. His name is called Abdul Rahman ibn Muhammad ibn Abdul Hayy al-Kittari. He passed away recently at the age of 107, I think. Short chain of narration. And he's from Morocco. It's the same time he died was the same time the World Cup. Morocco won the World Cup or something. It beats one of the teams. The publicity that picked up and everybody talking about it and what they were saying, and the time he died, there was nothing like that for it. So the Ummah have to realize where their priority lie. We have to understand that, what do we really love and what are we passionate about?